Well, there is a whole side of the Arbaat Haminim in particular that some people criticize as being, oh, it's very pagan, right? It's just like, what you would find in some, I don't know, tribal culture. And of course there's sexual symbolism in general, doing these kinds of things at the onset of the rainy season is like, fertility rites, which I think is just fantastic. I mean, I think that, like I said before, that we've often been cut off as modern, rational, industrialized people from the natural world in general. I think some of those very basic things that tribal indigenous cultures, I think, are very good at expressing. They're roots of ours that we've also been cut off from. A story about Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shlomi, who was a Hasidically ordained, but essentially a Jewish renewal rabbi in the States, where he was once at an interfaith conference in the American Southwest. There were Protestants, Catholics, Jews, Muslims probably, but also Native Americans. And it was right before Rosh Hashanah. It was in Elul, and so he actually went up at sunrise to daven Shacharit, right, to say the morning prayers. And he went up onto the roof of this, I guess, adobe dwelling that they were having the conference in. And he had, of course, his talit, his prayer shawl, and his tefillin, and he had a shofar, a ram's horn, right, from because it was Elul and blowing the shofar every morning. And who was up there with him but a Native American who brought his prayer rug, and I guess he had other accoutrements of Native American prayer. And he said he immediately felt a kinship. He felt much more close to that style of worship and that connection to the natural elements than he would feel maybe even with Protestant or Catholic colleagues, because of our use, our very blatant use of these kinds of very strong natural symbols. And I think that some of this kinds of thinking has been out of fashion for a couple of hundred years, when Judaism had to try to prove that it was rational and, sort of the Wissenschaft, right, the sort of German scientific approach. And I think we're living in a generation where we can go back to other traditions in Judaism, whether it be Kabbalah and mysticism or Hasidut. There's a lot of, non-Orthodox but sort of neo-Hasidic, right, streams of Judaism or people in their spirituality who are influenced by these things that I think can touch the heart and the emotional and the spiritual side, even if it wouldn't be satisfying to, a scientific rationalist from the 19th century. I think we can get beyond that and kind of reclaim sources of meaning in the tradition.